So let's start with our feet hip joint width apart, and then let us just drop into our feet, the soles of our feet, and just notice where your feet are touching. Which parts of your feet are touching? Is it the outside? Is it the inside? Are there areas where they're not touching, like the instep, so the space that's slightly lifted in between the front and the back of the foot? And let's just roll out onto the side of the feet, and then let's roll into the sides of the feet. Let's roll out and then roll in, roll out, roll in, roll out. So you're just opening up the ankles a little bit here as well to the side. And one more. And then let's bend the knees here, just lengthening the heels down towards the ground even more. Really feel like they're connecting as you're bending and flexing your ankles. Press through the feet, lengthen the legs. And again, sending those knees forwards. I want you to imagine that you're sending your heels behind you. I always feel like my soles of my feet are getting longer as I bend and flex at the ankle. Press, lengthen, and again. And then here in this deep ankle flexion, you're going to open up the foot and sink the heel down, same foot. Open up the ankle, open up the metatarsals, the joints as you open up and lift the heel. 3 more. Final one. And let's switch to the other side, opening up the ankle. So aim to keep the whole of the ball of the foot on as you're lifting up. So if you notice that you have a tendency to drop onto one side of the foot, aim to keep across the foot as you do this. 3 more. And then press up. I'm going to do that again. So I'm just turning to the side so you can see me. Flexing those knees, flexing those ankles, feeling like you're really sending the heels behind you, bending down. And then you're going to take your first foot and open up the ankle. So up, down, up, down. Keeping the ball of the foot connected. 3, 2, 1, and switch to the second leg. So we're keeping quite a lot of pressure onto the foot, onto the ankle. I'm feeling a little bit of juddering as I go down a little bit, but that's okay. And 3, 2, 1, and press down with the heel. Now take a moment, connecting with your feet. Now they've been livened up a little bit. Bring your arms up towards the ceiling. And then reaching up, take your left hand around your right wrist and reach up and over, opening up the side of the body. Actively press your right foot down so you lengthen the body, and then come to the middle. And then you're going to do that again. I want you to actively press your foot into the floor. Open out the side of the body. And back. And again. And back, and then take the right hand around the left wrist, lengthening up, reaching over to the side again, pressing down with that left foot, and notice how that activates a little bit more in the length of the side. And again, pressing down with the foot, opening up, and back, and again. Good. Bring the arms down, nose to chest, slide the ribs down towards the floor. And then press through the feet, lift up again with the arms. And then we're going to do that again. Rolling down, nose to chest, slide the ribs down. Bring the arms down towards the floor, turning the pelvis away from the backs of the legs, pressing through the feet, lifting up. And again, coming down. Nose to chest, slide the ribs down. Find the fingertips on the floor, bend the knees. So keep the fingertips on the floor here, or maybe bend the knees, bend the flex at the hips and bring the hands on the floor. And then let's just rock gently backwards and forwards onto your hands, onto your feet. Just moving and shifting the balance. Good. And 3 more rockings. 2. And 1. Come onto the balls of the feet, keeping the hands on the floor. And then we're just going to rock down so that knees come towards the wrists. And then you're going to rock back, sending the heels towards the floor and rock back with the hands. So the weight goes into the hands and the wrists and back and again. 3 more. 2 and 1. Drop the knees down, open out the feet, come and sit onto your knee, onto your heels. Prop yourself up if you need to. Yeah. And then we're going to just roll the pelvis backwards and forwards. So just letting that movement, just tipping your pelvis towards the floor and then away from the floor. Imagine you've got wheels here. And lifting up through the crown of the head as you do this. Good. And then come forward with your arms, sink your body forward, lengthen your arms here, in front, and I want you to breathe into the back of the ribs. And breathe into the back of the ribs. And breathe into the back of the ribs. And then come down onto your bottom and lengthen your legs in front of you. So take a moment here just to notice how your legs are feeling, as in, are they quite tight? If they're feeling quite tight, I want you to bend your knees. If you're feeling a little bit slumped in the lower back, then again, bend your knees or pop a cushion underneath your hips. Okay, I'm just going to bring the legs out a little bit, and then you're going to flex the foot and point the toes. Flex the foot, point the toes. Flex the foot, point the toes. Now you're going to come, keeping your feet flexed, you're going to come forwards with your fingertips towards your ankles. Doesn't really matter where you get to. And then you're going to come back up to seated. And then you're going to slide your fingertips forwards again. Noticing how that forward bend connects into the back of the legs. Good. And again, lengthening forwards. Breathing into the sides of the ribs here. And again. And then just take your hands on your, for the next two, take your hands on your legs and lengthen your arms down towards your ankles, wherever they end up as you move. I want you to imagine that your pelvis is gently lengthening away from the backs of the legs as you do this too, giving yourself just that little bit more length in your back of your spine. Point the toes now, reaching up again, and we're going to come down. Another 2 sets of 3, lifting up through the crown of the head as you come to seated, rolling forwards, good. And again. Okay, now bring your arms up towards your shoulders. Flex your feet. And I want you to, you're going to lean forward with a flat back. I want you to imagine that you're lifting yourself up and over your thigh bones as you lean forward. You may only lean forward a tiny weeny little bit. Okay, so you're going to lift up through and over your thigh bones as you reach forward. It's going to be quite intense here, so feel free to bend your knees if you need to. And then lengthen back, soften your legs again. And again, lifting up over your thigh bones, reaching forward, just considering your softness in your shoulders. And back. And again, lifting up over your thigh bones, reaching forwards. Brilliant. Okay. Now you're going to rotate your arm. So rotate your rib cage so your back arm comes forwards, okay? Then you're going to rotate the rib cage so your front arm comes forwards. If you can, eye gaze at the front towards your feet and turn. Lifting up through the crown of the head as you rotate the rib cage. One more on each side. Drop the hands down. And we're going to cross the legs here and we're going to drop ourselves down to over our shins. So wherever our hands come, wherever our elbows gently bend, and drop our heads down. Breathe into the sides of the ribs. And then lift up. Here, lengthen the legs away again. And we're going to bring our hands in front of us again. You're going to lift up. You're going to come over those thigh bones as you lengthen forwards and back. You're going to lift up over the thigh bones as you reach forwards and back. And again, lifting up and over. Now you're going to point your toes and do the same thing. Notice whether that is easier for you or whether that's more tricky for you. Lifting up. And just go with the motion and the movement that I'm describing. Don't worry about how far you get. Lifting up, coming up. That's it. Good. Now keeping the toes pointed, reach your back arm forward, rotate the rib cage, left arm up, so front arm forwards, back arm forwards, front arm forwards, back forward. Good. 3, 2, and 1. Bring the hands down, bring the legs down, bend the knees as you roll down. Bring the arms out to the side here and just send the knees over towards the front of the mat. Eye gaze comes towards the back. Drop the ribs down, waist, pelvis, knees over towards the back of the mat, opening out the side. Drop the ribs down, waist, pelvis, knees over to the front, eye gaze to the back. And drop down. Over we go. And back. So knees over to the front of that, bring the hands behind the head, interlacing the hands behind the head. Elbows are nicely just lengthened to either side. And then you're going to draw the elbow over towards the front of the mat. So you're coming over onto your side. And then you're going to just open out the arm to the back, lengthening the collarbones. And then again, you're going to bring the elbow over, rolling onto the same side. And opening out. So we haven't got to switch sides yet. Lengthen the arm away. And again, coming over. And back. Now we're going to switch sides. So you lengthen the elbow, drop the ribs, the pelvis, and the knees. Eye gaze to the front. And coming over, so you're now facing the back of the mat, bring the elbow across the ceiling, open up the ribs. And so we're spiraling the back of the ribs here. Frogging my throat. That's it, good. And again, back we come over. And one more. And coming all the way over, opening up, dropping the ribs down, knees over, eye gaze to the back, sweeping the elbow across. And then let's go all the way over to the back of the mat, eye gaze to the front, and over to the back. And let's come onto our backs of our bodies now. So have the ball by the side of you, have the Pilates ball by the side of you. And we'll just gather up your skull and with your hands interlaced behind your head. And just draw the skull away from your neck a little bit. Bring your elbows in and your feet are flat on the floor. So you're going to draw the eye gaze across the ceiling towards the thighs. And then you're going to slowly lengthen the head away as you come down. Just as you meet the mat, you're going to come back up again. Good. So you're focusing on sliding the ribs towards the navel in this chest lift. Good. And then we're going to take the back leg and we're going to lift the back leg up and we're going to tap it down as we do the chest lift. So we're going to lift it up and we're going to come down. We're going to lift up and we're going to come down. 3 more. 2 and 1. Drop the foot down, float the front leg up, come and meet the thigh, tap down and back up. So you also remember to keep a space in between your chin and your chest. So whilst you're pressing your head into your hands and your hands into your head, you're still maintaining a space at the front of your throat. 3 more. 2 and 1. Now we're going to go back to the back leg. So as we come up, we're going to bring the knee in. As we go away, we lengthen the leg away and in and away and in. So remember about sliding the ribs towards the navel, keeping the pressure into your head as well as your head into your hands. 3 more. 2 and 1. Bring the foot down, switch to the front leg. Good. And in and away. Good. and 3, 2, and 1. Bring the foot down. Okay, so bring your ball underneath your shoulders. We'll do some extension work. Okay, so come into your chest, lift your with the ball. And we're just lengthening the skull away from the neck as we come over into extension. So I really want you to put pressure into the ball as you come up. And I want you to think about lengthening your rib cage over the ball, keeping the ribs connected to your abdominals as you come over it, rather than doing your usual extension. I want you to have a little bit more consideration with the movement of the rib cage this morning. It's just something that I've been noticing. We do things automatically. So let's put a little bit more attention and connection into our ribs and opening out. It might mean that we don't go as far, but that's good. Keeping those ribs connected to your navel. So you're having more control over what's happening in the lower spine. So the lower spine isn't overtaking that extension in the back of the ribs. So if your lower spine is lifting more, then it may be that it's taking away from the extension that we're needing to create in the back of the body. So just a couple more here. 2 more. And 1 more. Okay, so now we're going to do some rotation work. So going to lift your knee, your front leg up, and we're going to rotate and lengthen the leg. And you're going to bring that rotation back. You're going to turn, lengthen the leg, and back. You're going to turn and lengthen the leg and back. It's going to be a little bit more complicated because it's a little bit more coordination. So a little bit more thought needs to be put into how do I turn my ribs on the ball? How do I anchor myself down with that back foot, as well as lengthening that leg away? So increasing the load on my abdominals. 1 more. Good. Then we come back to the back leg, float the leg up, rotate. So you might find that this side is more tricky or it's easier. Rotate. Good. Two more. And 1 more. Come all the way over the ball. Again, lengthening the back of the head. And just maybe sinking the bottom of the ribs down a little bit as you're over in your favorite position. Just see how, and just rock a little bit backwards and forwards, sending your lower ribs into the navel a little bit more. And just see how that moves your body. And then coming back up into chest sit. We're going to do the rotation again. So lift the leg up, and then we're going to lengthen the leg away, rotating to the front of the mat. Front leg, front mat, rotation. Good. And again. 3 more. 2. And 1. Lift up the back leg, and we're going to rotate to the back. Rotate. Rotate. Good. 3, 2, 1. And then lengthen the legs away, lengthen the arms away, and just reach, 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 reach. Flex and point your toes. And then lift the back of the head up, bring your arms forwards, and then come back up to seated. And so let's come into a mermaid sit. Okay. And if you need to prop yourself up, please do. Bring your arms out to the side. Drop your hands down over to the side, reaching out over towards your right side. Come up and over, lengthening up through the side of the body. And back. And up. And back. Now taking this, the hand, reach up and turn and rotate the rib cage. Bring the hands down, widen the back hand away from the front. Press through the heels of the hands to encourage the rotation. Eye gaze towards the hips and coming through the arms. And again, breathing into the sides of the ribs. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Bring the hand in line with the hips. Reach forwards with the front arm. Peek underneath your arm. As you unrotate, sweeping the arm back. And let's do that again, dropping down, reaching over, sweeping over, lengthening the arm to encourage the rotation to happen. Bring the hand down, bring the back hand wider. Press through the heels of the hands to encourage that rotation. Press through the heels of the hands to drop your eye gaze towards your hips and then along the floor. And again, eye gaze down. And eye gaze up. And eye gaze down. Eye gaze up. And eye gaze down. Bring the heel of the hand in line with the pelvis. Reaching the front arm forward, sweeping, opening, peeking underneath the arm. Drop the shoulder away from the ear. Yeah, well done. And then back over. Great. Change your legs. Okay, so again, just check in with your hips. Does this side need propping up whereas the other side didn't, or vice versa? Bring your arms out to the side. Drop the hands down, reaching over. And bringing the arm back. Here. Dropping the shoulders down. And again. And back. And again. This time reaching the arm, turning the ribs, bringing the hands down, widening the stance of the hands, and then encourage a rotation to just curl up your spine, pressing through the heels of the hands. Drop your eye gaze towards your pelvis and up. And that's rock backwards and forward. Rock backwards and forward. Bring the hands in line with the hips, reaching the arms forwards, peeking underneath your arm, and come back and open out. And let's do that again, reaching over, lengthening the arm, spiraling, bringing the arm down, heel of the hand down, widen the back hand away from the front, and then spiral the ribs. Eye gaze towards the pelvis and away. And again. And away. And back. Bring the heel of the hand in line with the pelvis, reaching the arms up, turn, turn, turn. And come down. So bring your hands down onto the side. We're just going to lengthen the front, the back leg, and then we're going to come over into a length, a one-legged quadruped, or one long leg quadruped. Okay, so you're just going to send the leg back here, tuck the toe of the bent knee under, and just lengthen that leg, using the heels of the hands to lengthen the front of the leg. And then come back up, lift that leg up, flex the foot. Bend the knee and press the leg up, 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 up. Lengthen the leg, keep the toe tucked under as you send the leg away, pressing through the heels of the hands. So really deep knee flexion, deep hip flexion in your back leg. Okay, and then lengthen up, send the heel away, bend the knee and press. 2, 3, 4, 5. Lengthen the leg again, tuck the toe under, slide back, send the heels of the hands into the floor, really connecting with that front leg. And then come up, bend the knee, press. 2, 3, 4, 5. Bring the knee down. Take the back leg, lengthen the back leg away. And now you're going to send that leg away, slide, 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 tucking in, keeping that toe tucked under with the front leg, the bent leg. And then you're going to float up, and you're going to bend the knee, and you're going to press. 2, 3, lengthen the leg, come down, slide it, lengthen from the front of the hips. And then you're going to come forward and you're going to bend your knee and you're going to press up. 2, 3, lengthen the leg away. Sink down. Send the leg away. And then come forward, bend the knee, sit, send up. 2, 3, bring yourself down. And we've got a few minutes to do a little bit of planking. So let's give the hands wide, fingers wide, palms wide. Send one leg away, send the other leg away, send the crown of the head forwards, shoulders over wrists. Send the heels back, activate the back of the legs. Press up through the feet so the bottom comes into the air. And then you're going to lift up into the balls of the feet. You're going to bring the belly to spine, tuck the pelvis as you caterpillar to your shoulders being over your wrists. You're going to lengthen out, sending your heels away. Good. Up we go, into a downward dog. Sink your heels down here for a moment. Notice how your shoulders are working. Widen your collarbones here a little bit. Up onto the balls of the feet. Lift the belly to spine, round the shoulders, the arms slightly spiral inwards. Come forward so your shoulders are over your wrists. Send your heels away. And then lift up one more time. Sink the heels down. And then lift up, open the ankles, draw the belly to spine as the shoulders go over the wrists. Send the heels away. And then let's walk our hands towards our feet. And just come into a forward bend. And then I want you to bend the knees and bring the hands onto the ground for a moment. Just the palms, flexing at the hips, flexing at the knees. And then we're going to just sink the pelvis down into a squat. And then you're going to move gently in this movement. If you can, keeping your heels down. And just notice how little movement you have here. And just see whether you can be curious, whether you can draw circles with your pelvis here. And then the other way. And then if you can shift side to side a little. Bring the hands down, lengthen the legs, spiral the thighs inwards, the feet inwards. Take a breath here into the back of the ribs. And then let's just sink down again. And again, just shift from side to side. And do some circles if you have that availability. And reverse. And bring the hands down, lengthen the legs. And then heel toe your feet in together. And then just draw yourself up, just internally gazing at your skeleton as you come up to standing. And just take that small moment to connect into the soles of your feet, to connect into your midline, to connect into your skeleton that you can see inside yourself, and just notice what spaces that you've created during our time together this morning. Thank you very much. I hope you feel okay.